What up? Happy Tuesday, live from the dollhouse. It's a little hot, got a little sweat on the brow, but we're gonna power through anyways. I got some phenomenal highlights from James Altucher's podcast with Jesse Itzler. Jesse has amazing energy, founder of Marquee Jets, a lot of other cool stuff. He just wrote a book where he outlines living with a Navy SEAL for 30 days, which I'm actually going to read and then highlight those. But I wanted to dive in and just give you 10 or 12 nuggets that I got from this podcast. I'm going to post the link to the full podcast if you're interested and you love these highlights like I did, so you can hear the whole thing. But shout out to James Altucher. I'm really loving learning from you, and a shout out to Jesse Itzler. Love your passion, love your energy, love your spirit. Let's dive in. I got some notes here that I will give you, so if you see me looking down, that's what it is. So the first one, and in no particular order, is that Jesse wanted every area, every sort of stepping stone in his life that he talks about, he just wanted it so bad that he didn't care about the consequences. Now, this isn't about being reckless, but you just get into this tunnel zone, this vision where it doesn't matter. This is going to happen. This train is leaving, and it doesn't matter. To me, I find that when I'm working on the life party, when I'm working on passion projects, when you just decide, and Tony Robbins talks about this, when you just decide and then take massive action, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how, it just matters that you've decided and you're going to do that. I loved that. So apply that to your world. What's the project that you're most excited about where you can just get into that mental state where it is happening? I love that. Next is when Jesse was pitching Marquee Jets. The idea to do a private jet, this model that he created, with no experience in the private jet world, he didn't do a PowerPoint. Instead, he actually brought people, different market segments, different people that he believed would buy this, and that's how he did his presentation, and that's how ultimately he sold it. I love that. So again, in your world, where you're trying to make an impact, do things that may not make sense on paper, but that make sense to your heart and your soul. That's how you're going to get it done. That element of thinking outside the box, it's legit, it's real. Screw the box, make your own. Don't be afraid to be like, you know what? I'm going to do it like this. That's where the magic happens. Next, Jesse actually got a record deal. He was a rapper. I love that. Back in the 90s. Maybe that's why I connect. But because I just feel like I got rapper blood in me. But he talks about this energy, this focus, this intensity, this work ethic that helped him get the record deal. But then once he got in, he let the sort of follow-up, the product, he delegated that. He didn't put that same energy that he used to get the record deal into the actual product. So the lesson is, bring the same energy that you brought to get the deal as you do once the deal happens. For instance, I prepped for a month. A lot of you just saw I went to go meet with the Lakers and the Grammys for their merchandise. I prepped for a month. Now, as we get those deals, I have to put that same energy that I did into the preparation the last month into these day-to-day deals. That's the ticket. So put that energy into the preparation, but put that energy then into the day-to-day. Don't let go just because you got the business. That's when it actually starts. Next, find a way. Find a way. Jesse talks about this idea that he met with Foot Locker and he had 24 hours to get to Grant Hill and have him record a jingle. He had no idea how to get to Grant Hill, but he made it happen. He found a way. And I can't tell you how many times I've done this. It's almost like a game. It's like when somebody says, okay, go, you have to figure out how to get there. And so Jesse literally took matters into his own hands. He flew to, I think it was Atlanta, waited outside, snuck in with the band, waited 8 hours by a payphone, and finally found a way. But like that's the hustle. I love that. I love that. The next point was, if you want to be friends with someone, if you want to know someone, just call them. Just ask. Like my grandma says, you don't know unless you ask. And this has been something that I've literally lived my life by. And it's scary in the moment, but the dividends pay a lifetime. I remember a couple of key examples when I was 16 years old. Shout out to Drew, my boy Drew in Minnesota. We were driving by my boy Kevin Garnett's house. He was a rookie. And I was like, whoa, Kevin Garnett is outside shooting. He's shooting hoops. I was like, Drew, we gotta ask, we gotta play. So we pulled the car over, and we waited probably for about 5 or 10 minutes, just like building up the courage. And finally, I was like, Drew, we gotta ask. So I rolled down the window. I said, Kevin, hey, can we shoot? He said, yeah, park the car. And we got out, we played, and from that moment on, we started a friendship that lasts until today. It's about having the guts, having the courage. I remember too, when I was like 14 or 15, we went to a taping of The Fresh Prince. Will Smith came out to the audience. He was shaking hands. I was all the way on the other side of the audience. I didn't get my chance to shake Will's hand. So as he was going down, I said, Will. And I yelled from all the way to the other side before he went down to start shooting on set. He turned around and he called me over. He said, how would you like to go down and watch the rest of the set down and meet the cast? It's like those moments where you're so scared. Pull out that courage and just ask. Just ask. I love that. The dividends will last a lifetime. It's like Jesse talks about, just give yourself permission to be embarrassed. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. What's the worst that can happen? The upside is huge. Next, Jesse talks about whatever happened to the handshake deal. I love that. We're so like lawyered up and complicated. It's like, find people that you want to be in business with, that you trust, that a handshake is going to do it. I love that. I want to find more people like that. I'm so about that. It's like, I don't even care about the contracts. You may call it reckless, but if I look you in the eye and I want to do business with you and we agree, man, that's enough for me. Like, call me crazy. Maybe I'll get burned some of the time, but like, man, if I need a contract, I don't want to be in business with that person, because that means there's a lack of trust. Next, and I love this. There's so many good things in here. So Jesse spent 30 days training with a Navy SEAL that moved into his house. He wanted to immerse himself into this training, so he invited a Navy SEAL to live with him, and he went through the training for 30 days. And the headline here is that we have to work our mental toughness like a muscle. And when we think we're done, we're only 40% done. We got a lot more left in the tank. So find ways daily to push yourself. Whether that's literally turning the cold shower on for 15 seconds, then 20 seconds, then 30 seconds, push that muscle. Retrain your brain that you can give more, because you have it. I love that. I love that. Next is remember this idea that we have 24 hours in a day. That's a long time. So let's not complain that we don't have enough time in the day. We sleep for 7 or 8 hours. We have some me time. For me, I work on the life party. I work on the merchandise. I put family time in there. Really divide up your day. Look at these 24 hours and make a pie chart. There's much more time than you think when you really divide it up and look at it. Make time for work. Make time for family. Make time for joy. Make time for passion. Carve it out and schedule your day. As Jim Rohn says, either you run the day or the day runs you. I take a good 30 to 40 minutes on Friday, plan my whole week out, and then before I leave every night, I'm reviewing that day and I'm writing it out, because you have to be intentional. Either you're on your agenda or you're being sucked into someone else's. And scheduling email time, scheduling phone time, scheduling passion time, scheduling family time, scheduling work time. Set it, and it won't go to plan, but if it's 70 to 80% a day, you're winning. Schedule the day. Next, Jesse talks about this idea about creating memories in your life. It's so cool. Like, we're not going to remember. And he even talks about this. He's like, how many days do you actually remember in the last year? And the point is to set these events, these memories. Jesse's going to climb. He rented out this mountain, I think in Vermont. And he's going to climb the equivalent to Mount Everest. It's like up and down 17 times. It's like, yeah, it's never an ideal time. It's probably a task maybe you think you can't even do. The idea is a few times a year, create and plan these amazing memories with your families and friends. I love that. Create memories. I dig that. The last headline. Sorry, I got a little reminder in there. The last headline is, in business, when you're in a meeting, connect with somebody person to person. Jesse talks about this idea. It's like, again, he's not the smartest person in the room, and either am I. But what I default to is being human to human. I always try to connect with somebody on an emotional level in a real, genuine way. I feel like if we can connect just emotionally as a person, then we're able to do business with people. So bring your personality into your business. That's what I feel like there's comfort there. That's when success can happen. So again, I hope that you found some of these helpful. I love Jesse. Jesse, thank you so much for your passion, for your energy, for what you do. I can't wait to read your book. I'm going to do another one of these headlines to break it down for people after I read your book. James Altucher, thank you. I am super excited to continue to learn from you. If you haven't checked him out, check out James Altucher. He has an amazing podcast, a great writer. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I hope you have an awesome